Hello guys, so today we're going to try painting glass objects that we might have in the house and we are not using or they are empty. So you can ask your parents if they have any empty bottles of glass like this or even plastic that we can decorate the house with. How? By painting them, and then we can put inside of them after we paint and they dry. We can put our accessories, we can put flowers, we can just put them as decoration item. The most important thing is that we don't later on use them for food items, or we don't wash them a lot underwater. So let's say we have this bottle. This was actually a ketchup bottle that I put in the dishwasher and now it's clean. This is a bigger bottle, which is a water bottle. And this is another bottle, but it is colored. And this used to be a chocolate spread. And this bottle used to be for soya. So it's most important that you clean them well before starting to use. Then I have my napkins here. I have three containers to put the paint in. I also have some brushes and a spoon. And we are going to also use sodium bicarbonate, which you can use ask your parents to bring it for you. This is the brand that I am currently using, and we call it sodium bicarbonate, or we also call it baking soda. Of course, your mom has it somewhere in the kitchen, so we're gonna use that. You can also keep like some plastic item or cardboard where you can place your dirty brushes on. So this process is very easy, and after we finish the paint, we can also spray it with a fixative spray. Any spray can work. You can also use hairspray, but that's at the end after it is dry, to protect it from dust. These are the colors that I'm using. I have some white, and it's a titanium white, and it's acrylic color. I also have this kind of bluish green color, and you will see what kind of colors we'll make from it. I also have a reddish brown color, which is similar in color to the color of pottery or soil, if you can see here. A color of ceramic or soil or wood, any brownish color can work. I use this brand, which is Winsor Newton. There's also this acrylic color, which is called raw sienna, but you don't have to use it. You can just use a light brown. And also I have a very pale yellow, a color called Naples yellow, which is also Winsor & Newton acrylic, but you can also use any light shade of yellow. So let's start by putting our colors here. So I will start first with this very brownish but has a bit of red color. I'll put a bit more, and then we need to mix it with a bit of water because it's acrylic, so that it becomes a bit liquidy. And then we can take one of our brushes. This one is good. Before we mix it, first we mix it with the water. Okay. If we feel that it is too liquidy, we can add more paint to it. We can use this nylon paper sheet to cover the containers with, so that it's easier for us to clean them. That way we don't have to wash them a lot. Let's add a bit more paint to the mix. And like that, we mix it well, so that it's not very liquidy, but at the same time, it's a bit thick. So it needs to be just like You know, the regular paint that our parents paint the walls with? You know, it's not very, very liquidy, because otherwise the paint won't stick on the wall. It will drip, but at the same time, it's not very loose. After we mix, we're gonna bring this baking soda, and we're gonna take 1 spoon like that, a small teaspoon, okay? And we are gonna add it just a bit more. So just 1 teaspoon. And we are going to add it in the paint. Why are we adding it to the paint? Because this will help making the effect that we want on the glass, and it will help making it stick better, especially that we're working with glass. So 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which is also called sodium bicarbonate, which of course your parents or your mom has in the kitchen. I'm going to bring this here because I'm going to start painting with this color. Oops, move that here. So like that, we mix it well. We make sure that it's properly mixed with the paint. Like that, we hold the glass jar from one side and we start painting. If we want it to be less we want it to be more opaque or less transparent, we can do more layers, or we can also do another layer afterwards when this dries. We can add less liquid to it. Like that, we will have colored jars. It's really nice and pretty, because the color looks like pottery, but it's not really pottery, if you know what I mean. We can do the bottom. For now, I won't be doing the bottom, so that I can put it and it dries better. Make sure that you put enough paint so that it gets properly covered. You can do like this at the bottom, and then from the bottom up. It's a really nice activity that we can do in the house, and we can do it like with our brothers and sisters if they want to participate with us, and we can do it as a gift. And then we take the top and we make it go round like that. We can do whatever direction that we want. For now, I'm doing it randomly because it looks nicer, like it's not planned. And we should not forget doing the upper edge, you know, here. This part up. And it'll be nice when we eventually put flower inside of it, or a small plant. We can use it as a container for our pencils, for our coloring pencils maybe. We can put it on our study desk. Okay, we can wait a bit for it to dry, and then we add another layer of paint. I'm gonna now wait for this to dry a bit. I'm just gonna put it here. And now I'm gonna pick another one. Let's say, which one did I pick? This one. Or shall we do a part of that? Maybe not all of it the same color. Let's do the bottom of this bottle, and the rest maybe we do another color, because we have a lot of paint. So let's say like that. Oops. This bottle has some liquid water inside of it, because I just washed it. This was initially it was initially a water bottle, a big water bottle, which I kept using for a while, but now I decided to color it with these paints. Now, if you have a big item like this one, you can ask your parents to hold it for you as you paint, or you can keep it like standing and paint, but for the sake of the video, so you can see what I'm doing, I am holding it with one hand and painting with another. And then you can do like a wavy shape at the top, like that. And another wavy shape, sorry, on that side. I don't know if you like these colors, let me know. You can also do pinks and reds and any other color that you want. I'll do the top as well in this color. So make sure you cover properly the top part from here. It's nice for it to be transparent a bit, I think. I'm not sure if you agree, but that way we can see the stem of the flower, like if we have a flower inside. Like that. Cover the top part. Make sure you get into the, the parts here to make sure that they are also painted. You can do a bit on the inside if you wish. It's not a must, but now that the paint went in, I'm doing the inside. Okay, so let's leave it to dry a bit. And now we can try another color. Let's do another color. So I'll bring this. Now while this is drying, we're gonna paint it again. Let's do a lighter version of this color. So I'm gonna have some white here. And then I will add the same color that I used, but a bit, because it's pretty dark, so I won't add a lot. Oops. Be careful when you're using these things. Maybe also you can get smaller tubes or bigger ones. if you're not regularly using these kind of paints. And then just a bit of this yellow because it gives it a lighter color. And then I'll use this brush to mix the paint. Now we can add just a tiny bit of water. Just a tiny bit, like a drop. Okay, so it doesn't become very loose. And we mix. Not sure if you can see. So this is a lighter color. It's a nice color actually. And after we mix, we need to add the sodium, the baking soda. So again, we're going to add 1 teaspoon. And we mix it with it. Okay, after we mix, we can bring, let's say, this jar. I want to do this one, and I can just paint. You see, now this ended up looking a bit thicker and not transparent because it doesn't have water in it. So I was showing you these two versions so you will know how, if you add water, what happens, and if you don't add water, how it will look like. I personally prefer it without a lot of water. I'm not sure about you, but there's also a texture. I'm not sure if you can see the texture a lot. When you try it at home, you will see that there's a bit of a texture. Like that. So in the first step, if you want it to be transparent, you want whatever is in the bottle to still show, you add water when you're mixing the paint with the baking soda. If you don't want it to show, then you keep the paint with just a tiny drop of water, and you add the baking soda. Okay, so these are the two options that you have. I personally liked it like that, so without the, not sure if you can see, without the inside of the bottle showing. You can go over it more than once to make sure that everything is covered properly. This would be a nice vase. I will use it as a vase actually. If you feel there are places that are still like not totally dry, not totally covered, you can go back and do them. And now the top part, we must not forget it. Cover it well. And here as well. You might have some on your fingers, it's normal, because we need to make sure that you can just dry them with water later on. Just cover it properly. to. So you don't have to do this color, you can do another color if you wish, but I personally like these natural colors that look like pottery and clay. You can add a bit more where you feel it's very transparent. And like that, we will have this one here. You can move it like that to the side. Now I can mix a bit. Maybe I will do this one also with this color. This was a small one, so it should be pretty easy and quick. The baking soda gives it a nice texture. You will see once you try it. Now when you try it at home, if you do several ones, I want you to take pictures and share them with me here as a comment. And also it would be great if you can show your friends this video, and you can send it to them, of course, if now you are not seeing them as much as before. So you can send them the video by phone, the link. You can ask your parents to help you if you don't know how. And like that, that's the second item. You can even put these items like in the bathroom. You can put small flower in them. It's decoration. You can put a fake flower, it doesn't have to be a real one, so it stays longer. Like that. And I think if you show your mommy what you're doing, she's gonna love this idea as well, because in a cheap way we can decorate the house, and we can also write our names on the bottles, or we can write a message. I like to do here from the inside because we can still see a bit on the inside here, but then when it's deep inside we don't need to, because we don't see anymore. Like that. Gives it the pottery, you know, the feeling of pottery, like as if it's pottery, but in fact we all know that it's glass. Both of them are easy to break, so you need to be careful how you're handling it, how you're holding it, so that nothing breaks, because we don't want to create any mess. See, it's very fast to do them. Like, you can do so many bottles in one day. You can have a collection of these. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this jar that I worked on, and I am going to, oops, see here, I'm gonna cover it again. Make sure things are properly covered. Okay, I'm gonna take this again and do another layer on it. Like that. Just the sides, no need to do everything, just the sides. Now, if we decide not to keep it transparent like this, we can. I'll show you how in a second. See the difference? Now in this one, you can still see a bit what's on the inside, not as much as before, but with the others, you cannot. It's okay if your hands get dirty, you can just take the baby wipes and clean them, or some soap and water also can work. Now what we're gonna do is, we will, these colors are really nice. I'm just going to do, what I'm gonna do is, I will add some of this here to make it a bit, to make this color a bit darker. Let's see how it looks now. So it's just a slightly, let me add some more. I want a similar one, but just a tiny bit darker, like with some brown in it, some more brown in it. I don't know if this will help. Let's see. A bit more. So don't forget to show me your the colors that you've chosen. Again, you can do like purple, pinks, whatever colors you want. And mix some more. Now this is going to be similar, just a bit darker. And I'm gonna try doing like 2 shades here, just a bit darker. Let's see. Similar, but it has a bit of darkness, extra darkness. I personally love this color. I'm not sure about you, but it's a color that I know I will never get bored of. If I do a pink or a red or a blue, I think I want to change it more often. But this color can go with anything. Like if your room is pink, you can have it. If your room is blue, you can use this color. It just goes with all other colors. So this ended up a bit darker, not too dark. So again, don't forget to show me whatever you've done as items, what kind of jars you tried doing, if it's glass or plastic. This would be much better on glass, honestly. If you have like small glass jars like these, they're easy to carry, they're not heavy, you can totally do it by yourself. And it's just like, it looks like pottery, but it's not. Very relaxing also when you're painting like this. You can put on some music. Maybe next time I put some music for you. Now I wanted to explain, like make sure there's not a lot of things that distract us. Like that. Forget the top part again. Just put it here. Don't forget the top part. I'm going to use this as a cup for my pencils or my painting brushes, and because it's very wide, like I can totally see what's inside, I'm going to go ahead and also paint quickly the inside, because I can see. This is optional. See, if you don't want to do the inside, it's fine. But if you like it like same as outside, I advise you to do it for jars that are big like this one, not all the jars. Don't know if you can. Doesn't have to be so perfect inside. It won't be, because we can do also the bottom of the jar. Now once it's dry, I'll show you a picture later on. I'll try to post it somewhere on Instagram or on YouTube as an image. So like that, this jar is also done. It's a bit darker than the others. Okay, now what we can do is add a bit of that red here, and I'm just gonna add a bit more baking soda to it. For the texture. Excuse me. I liked the colors when they mixed here. So let's see how they ended up being. Oh, it's a nice color, it's not bad. I'm actually gonna go ahead and make this jar less transparent, the one that we started with. This one. Now when I'm mixing them all together, it's giving me an even nicer effect. Excuse me. It's a nice effect because the reddish brown didn't fully dry yet, and we added on it this lighter tone, so it gave it What kind of songs are you listening to these days? What's your favorite? Maybe I can add them next time when we're painting like this together. I hope you'll be doing this while you're watching, or take the instructions, get your materials ready, your paints and everything, and then we can do it together. That's why I didn't prepare them all ahead of time. That's why I am doing them all with you here on this video, and that's why I have several bottles that I've been collecting, honestly, for the past few weeks. Every time one jar is empty, or I find some product is over, like the ketchup or something, I directly remove the label. Now there's a way to remove labels on the jars. You can just soak the entire jar in soap and warm water, not very hot, just warm water. And after you soak it in the water, under running water, you can start removing the label. It's very, very easy, but it's much easier when you do it directly under running water after it has soaked for a while. Otherwise it will be tough to properly remove the labels. Usually you have like at least 2 labels. And even if you keep the labels, you know, it can still work, but because the baking soda and the paint work so well on glass, I haven't personally tested it yet, like if it will work the same on, you know, on a cardboard or a paper. So like that, if you go back to the beginning of this video, you will see how this jar was transparent and how now you can't see anything. I'm gonna do the bottom as well, since I have some paint left. If you draw like a flower on these jars, or if you write your name, or if you write, like for example, if it's someone's birthday, or if it's like Mother's Day, you can write a message, or like now Valentine is coming up, you can write, I love you, Mom and Daddy, or Happy Valentine on it, and offer it to the people you love. Okay, and we shouldn't forget, again, the top part. These have many layers, so you need to press a bit for the paint to go in, to make sure that the paint will go in, like that. Can do many layers back and forth. Now for this, I think I will use it as a, probably going to put some flowers in this one. Again, because it's white and you can see the inside, you can paint the inside as well. It's a very nice color. Again, it's like natural, so it goes with anything, like whatever is the decoration in the house, the color theme. The inside you can just do it quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'll just help us cover what's on the outside as well. Make it even more not transparent. We say opaque, the word opaque, I don't know if you know it or not, but opaque is kind of like the opposite of transparent. Now we also need to do this side. And then another stroke on the bottom part of the jar. Just make sure everything is properly covered in the color that you want. This is perfect. It's a beautiful color, actually. It's good that we started with transparent and then added on top. Gave it a nice texture. Okay, now we have this one, this one, this one. So we have 4. I'm gonna add a bit more. Oh, look at this, it dripped and gave the shape. I'm gonna add a bit more of that here on this bottle, since I have paint. Again, I'm gonna cover and do like the wavy shape. But here I'm gonna do 2 colors on this bottle, simply because it's big enough. I hope you can see the texture when you're doing it. It looks like pottery, even though it's not. This is just, it's the effect of the baking soda. so you don't have to do the ceramic or the pottery. It will just give you the effect. It's good to do one, like when you do from up to down, just continue up to down, because if you go back, it will erase it and it'll start looking transparent. So, whoops, continue in the same direction. The paint will start feeling like it's thick. It's fine. Again, that's because of the baking soda. Like that. Now I know that today some of you in this video were waiting for me to show you how we continued the first video. If you go to my channel, on the videos section, you will see our first video was the abstract painting, and we were supposed to continue with lines of white. Now I will do that and post a picture on the other video in a comment, on the first video in a comment, of how I did the lines of white, so you can do them as well. It's just going to be a picture, not a video, because it's pretty simple. We're just going to add with a thin brush just some shapes in white. Like if we see a flower, we add the outline of the flower. If we see a heart, we add the outline of the heart. But for you to do that, if you haven't watched the first video yet, please go ahead and watch it. So once I post the photos, you can know what we're talking about. Now, after we've done that part, to cover it well, after we've done that part, we can go ahead and do the top as well. I'm doing like a wave, if you noticed. It's up to you. You can do any shape. You can even draw, like if you want to draw something, the sun or star, or my arm just hit the other jar and I have to fix this. Sorry. I fixed it. That was quick. Like that. Now we have one more color left to do, which is the bluish green color, which is also nice color. It's very important when you finish doing all those experiments to wash your brushes thoroughly, like really very, very, very well. Otherwise, the baking soda is gonna stick on them. Or you can keep these brushes for an exercise like that. Now this looks pretty. Don't know if you can see. Just removing the thick pieces here. They're stuck. Where you feel like there are parts where they just need a bit more paint, you can just go ahead and add. Okay, now that's also done. So we're gonna leave it here to dry a bit. We're gonna take this green bottle and we're gonna make the third. Just gonna keep this here. The third color. With this one. So I'll just bring some of this color here, just a tiny bit, because it's strong. It's a strong blue. And I'm gonna add some white to it. To make it lighter. And I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of this yellowish, light yellow. So, whoops, see what happens. Okay, always dry it up. Sometimes when you get paint inside the covers, you know, like the covers of the paint tubes, they dry, and then it'll be very difficult for you to open the paint tube. So it's good to make sure it's properly closed. I'm gonna take my third brush, big one, and I'm just going to take again small teaspoon, sorry, of the baking soda. I'm gonna add it to the paint and mix. Can add a bit of water again. Make sure it's just like a tiny bit. Tiny bit of water so that it's easier to mix, you know. Now the paint is much less. It's less than the others that we were trying. So let's see how it's gonna end up. We might need to, let's see. Oh, it's fine. Just make sure you cover the label properly. It's a nice blue, right? Okay, now I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna continue this by myself. So let me know when you try them, how they end up looking, and make sure to send me the photos or check Instagram for the photos, or if on YouTube you want, you can post your work, your photos as a comment. And don't forget to tell your friends about this exercise. Also, make sure you like this video, okay? And you subscribe to this channel called Prime and Flow, where I will weekly post some art videos. Also check in a while, check the comments section of the first video. I'll be adding there how I drew the whites on the abstract painting